A lot of model boaters seem to forget several things when they're making their model boats. They may do all sorts of details, add rust and whatever it is, but when it comes to some of the details, they either forget it or just don't do it right. Number one is the figures, especially when you have an open cockpit boat or when you have the view of the wheelhouse. There's nobody steering the boat. Having a few deckhands on also helps. Second is flags. They look like a piece of cardboard, just flat out stiff, rather than any kind of ripples in them. And the third is the lack of lines on board a boat, especially mooring lines on smaller boats, tugboats, and whatever else. And I'm going to show you how to simply make some lines like I have here. And these are mooring lines. In other words, they'll be attached to the davits or cleats on a boat, and they will tie up to either another boat or a dock. Alright, what I've done here is I've taken some thread and I've made a slip knot, and I'm going to take a piece of the parachute cord that I've got from Michaels. It's the thinner parachute cord. A lot of people overdo it. They put like huge ropes, something that would probably be about as big around as your arm or leg. More a simple little power boat. So I'm going to take this overhand knot. I've made this loop 1.5 inches long. I'm just going to take this knot, this slip knot, and I'm going to pull it down about 1/4 inch away from the end, and I'm going to pull it real tight. Going to take a drop of super glue, and I'm going to what's called whipping super glue. Cut the thread off. I'm going to cut some shrink tubing pieces. In this case, I'm cutting into 3/8 of an inch long. Slide it down over the whipping. Alright, next step is going to be heating the shrink tubing and using some care not to melt the parachute cord, because it's a nylon type or some sort of a synthetic material that will melt. And if you don't like the color of it, you can always touch that up with a little paint. And there you have it. So I've got 1, 2 lines, and I'm going to make maybe another 2 or 3 of them. Once you've got that done, and I've yet to paint this, but I'll get to that in a little bit. I'm going to switch over here to the back of the Coast Guard cutter, and you can drape this. Sometimes they drape them over the railing, or they'll have them pre-tied on board. Kettles or cleats. You can do some wrapping around, wind them up, drape them over the railing. Sometimes I've seen them even take these and, or some of the photos show them being tied in place looped around and tied through, just so that they don't dangle down into the water or tangle the props or whatever. Then you can also take these, and if you want to lay them on the deck, maybe have one end over your cleat or kibble, and you can lay them down in whatever pattern you want. You could kind of a neat pattern, or if it's a workboat, probably not so neat, or maybe a naval boat or a Coast Guard boat where you have some spiral lines, where they take the line and they actually go around in a spiral. Like so. And how you do that is you put down a piece of wax paper, and then you'll be able to do this spiral. And then saturate that with some wood glue and mix with water. And then put another piece of wax paper on top of that, and then put a weight on it and let that dry. And then you take it off, you peel the wax paper off, and you have your preformed line, and you can take that and lay it on the deck.